Okay, so how do you unfuck your nervous system, right? So, how did you fuck up your nervous system to begin with? Okay, as a person who's a scheduler, right? In order for your day to have a bunch of stuff in it, like you have a bunch of stuff that you want to get accomplished in your day, right? What you cannot do is not have a plan, a process, and a protocol. A plan, a process, and a protocol, right? Because once you have a plan, you could develop a process and then you could have a protocol. I'm gonna write that down because you know I'm not gonna remember. Plan, process, and protocol. You need to write it down too. Every time you sit in front of me, you should have a notebook. And this is what I tell everyone. If you're sitting in front of me and you see me, you need to have a notebook. I used to do that with friggin' what is his name? The Robbins guy, Mel Robbins, all the Robinsons. I used to do it with the Dowdies of the world. I used to do it with the Astro Finesses of the world. I used to do it with the Hannah everywhere. I would always have the Matteo De Stefano. I would always, and Joe Dispenza. I would always have my notebook. I have a lot of notebooks because you got to write this stuff down. Your brain has to remember it. Write it down. Write stuff down. You're watching me, write it down. This is not entertainment. This is school. You understand? This is class. Class is in session. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to wake you up and teach you. Why do you think they keep trying to shut me down? You understand? That's what I'm here for. I'm not here. I'm pretty, but I'm not here to just entertain you. I'm here to teach you. Okay. So go get your pen, go get your notebook, not a piece of paper. Go get a notebook and let's go. I'll wait. Okay. For those that already had a notebook. So we're going to need a plan. We're going to need a process and we're going to need a protocol. Because when you make that plan, you have a plan is not a concrete Moses tablet. Does that make sense? You can tweak a plan. You can tweak a plan while you're executing the plan. Does that make sense? You don't have to be like, oh, I'm so rigid. I'm going to stick to this plan, even though if while I'm working the plan, I see that it's not working. If you see that it's not working, your pivot game needs to be tight. My pivot game is tight. Once I start seeing that it's not going in the direction that it's going to go to make this thing shoot off, turn it, pivot, go back. What do we need to rework? Rework shit. Come back to someone, be like, hey, this isn't working. We need to do something else. That's what a plan is. A plan is very malleable. It's not something that you have to stick to. You understand? Now, what you cannot do when it comes to a plan is have a plan. Everybody's executing the plan. The plan is working great. And then all of a sudden, you either get scared or nervous or fucked up or something in your nervous system gets shot and you mess it up for everyone else. You can't do that either. Does that make sense? Because it's like there are times that I've seen a plan working and someone else just ruined it because they got scared. That's not okay. Got it? So now, once you have a plan, now you're going to have a process. You have an idea about what you're going to do. And I tell everybody, write this down. You need to plan your day from the night before. Before I go to bed, I already know or have an idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. I have an idea. No matter what time I go to bed, I have an idea of what I want to do, what I want to accomplish tomorrow. Now, when I wake up, my body tells me what we're going to do today. Does that make sense? And how we're going to do it, and maybe even the order that we're going to do it in. Because if I wake up tired and I don't have energy, the first thing I'm not going to do is clear. You understand? My body's already depleted. So if I was fighting in my sleep at night, fighting for my life at night, you understand? And I wake up tired, I'm not doing anything right smack in the morning. But now if I snuggle and fall asleep in like just peace and I just wake up like, oh, and the birds are singing and, knocking on my window and stuff, it's like that is a complete thing. I could go do a whole bunch of other things. That's why your body has a say. I'm going to talk about that in union with self video in another episode, not on this channel, but on a different channel for Healing the Healers. But yeah, so not channel, show. I was, maybe I should have different channels, but we don't know. Baby steps, baby steps. But yeah, so you have to have a plan before you go to bed. Then when you wake up, your body tells you, okay, what is the process we're going to run the plan? You already, when you make the plan, you pretty much have an idea of how the plan is going to run through. But you have to also understand, when you make a plan, there's different like booby traps and like clusterfucks that go off while you're trying to execute the plan. Does that make sense? So when you're doing that, you have to be able to pivot, right? So the process that you're coming up with is constantly changing. The way I talk to my oldest, the way I talk to Matthew now isn't the way I used to talk to Matthew. I had to change that process. He's not the same person that he was back then. I have to tweak my process, not walk on eggshells, but I have to tweak the process because he's a different person. He doesn't, there's certain things that he likes, there's certain things that he'll tolerate, there's certain things that he will not. He's a grown-ass man. He is 25 years old. He is a grown-ass man who knows what he wants, and he knows how he wants to be spoken to. So I need a walk chalk line if I want to have a relationship with him. That has nothing to do with walking on eggshells, because he learned that shit from me. You make sure that that person speaks to you. I don't care what their title is. And I've told my kids that. I don't care what their title is. If you don't like the way someone is talking to you, you pull them to the side and you be like, hey, I don't like the way you're talking to me. You understand? And then you explain to them why you don't like the way that they're talking to you. You understand? But at the same time, you also have to make sure that you're clear and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as well. But I digress. So yeah. So the process, you have to focus on your process, right? Then after you focus on the process and you're like, okay, I know how I'm going to have this flow. There has to be certain protocols that you put in place that if this goes like this, we're going to do this. This is done like this, so we do this. This is done like that, so we do this. And what happens is, a lot of times while you're running the process, protocols just pop up. You find like different protocols just popping up. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. This is why I get paid when I get paid. This is why I work where I work. I told you people all the time, where I work, what I do as a special assistant, whatever, it's like it, or executive service professional, as this is what I do. I think I make processes. There's different ways that things should be done, how people should be addressed, how people should be taught, what letters should go out, all that other stuff. All this stuff is what I'm learning and what I've learned. So now I'm sharing it with you. So yeah, so now inside the processes, you're going to have protocols that you have to be like, okay, this is how I need to have this written. This is who writes it. This is who designs it. This is who does this. This is who does that. And that's how you unfuck your nervous system. You unfuck your nervous system by having a plan of what you're going to do, a process on how you're going to do it, and have protocols within that. We're not even going to get into, well, we should get into about roles, goals, and responsibilities. You understand? Because it all goes hand in hand, right? Roles, that when I learned that in a project management class I took, when I learned that, it was the best thing that I've ever learned. One of the best things that I've ever learned, because it made it make sense, because everyone has roles, goals, and responsibilities. No matter what group you're in, roles, goals, and responsibilities, whether it's your house, whether it's your relationship, whether it is your business relationship, whether it's your clientele, doesn't matter. Everyone has a role, everyone has a goal, and everyone has responsibilities. And if everyone understands the goal and understands their role and takes care of their responsibilities, things will go well. I've tried it. I've tested this theory, and it does. However, you have to have it within yourself first. Does that make sense? You can't be like, yeah, roles, goals, and responsibilities, but you can't be doing that. You have to go in yourself. Okay, what part, who has what role, what goal, what's our goal, and who's responsible for it. You understand? My brain is responsible to make sure I am clear, I make clear decisions, and I do what I'm supposed to do. My body's supposed to tell me what it needs so then I can give it what it needs so it can fuel. My heart needs to be able to flutter around and sprinkle fairy dust every so often so it doesn't get backed up and choked to death with our own fairy dust. And I said, I'm make that video too, choking to death on your own fairy dust. But I digress. Yeah, so it's like every part of me, even my shadow, it's like my shadow is the no, we ain't doing that. She's that, no, she's the final check. Like, no, we're not doing that. That doesn't benefit us. Why are we doing this? And everybody's like, oh no, it's only until you unify those parts. When you unify the software and the hardware, you'll be all right. You'll be on boss level, because it is what it is. All right. So remember, you need to have a plan, you need to have a process, and you need to have protocols. All right. So that's how you unfuck your nervous system. Stay up, stay blessed. Deuces, and I'm out.